Welcome everyone back to the Crimson 15 podcast. I'm your host, Crimson Sen.
15 PCA.
810-454.
Be sure to check us out over on Twitter at C15 Podcast. Join the discussion over on Discord, link in the description below. And if you're enjoying the videos, be sure to sub, like, share, and hit that bell for notifications. Hawkeye episode 2, and again, it continues just to be okay.
Yeah.
It didn't blow me away. It doesn't make me, like, when we watched Falcon and Winter Soldier, I was like ready for the next episode.
Yeah,
The
excited.
series, guys, I know the series is over. The last episode, I think, was this week, and we don't care.
No,
We're just going to slowly catch up because it's not that exciting.
No, it's not.
No, and that's the kind of sad thing about these series so far. Some of them have been just,
Yeah, it's nothing too grand. There's some funny moments. And a lot of people complain about it in the MCU. They always have funny moments, but those are real. Funny things happen in real life. And it makes Clint's story more, I don't know, grounded, that he has to somehow deal with stupid crap and it's like, oh.
Because he's the last person in the world that want to do any of this. That's what makes it funny.
right, because you have people like Tony, other ones that like to live in that moment of like, oh yeah, I'm this great, cool person. And
he doesn't like
no.
any of that.
Yeah, he wants to be innocuous. I just want to...
Yeah, that's why I've been hanging out with my family. Make gingerbread houses and stuff. Kate continues to be, I'm a girl, so I'm right, and that's all I need to be right, is be a girl. And I don't... It'd be great if she was completely wrong about this guy.
I don't know.
His name Jack?
I
don't forget what his name is, but if she was wrong about the fiance, which is no way in the world that she can be, because girls are never wrong. But wouldn't it be great if she's doing all this crap to this guy and putting him through the ringer for no good reason?
But I'm glad she's getting pushback at least.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
Well, and it's also, he's playing it really well because it makes her look completely crazy at some points.
Yeah, I was like, you're psychotic.
Like, yeah. Like, I not mean, like, I almost don't want to date your mom because of how crazy you are.
Yeah, you have an insane
Because all so
daughter.
far, he's been trying to get to know you like his stepfather, and you just been...
Yeah, like, insane.
Jerk.
Right.
But we open up right where the last episode left off, and that's when Hawkeye catches her. And then he's like, oh my god, it's a kid. It's like, oh, jeez. And of course, she's all fangirling because, oh, I love you so much.
You're my favorite
You're
Avenger.
my favorite Avenger. And he's like, whatever. So he's like, we got to get you out of here because these mafia dudes are after you, these Russian guys. We got to go someplace safe. So they're like walking and talking. And then she's just like, like, it's like, oh, you met like your favorite, basketball player, and you get to walk and talk with them.
Exactly.
So you're acting like a super nerd. Remember that one time when you did this? And
basically what he's doing, he's scoping out everyone, checking out to make sure no one's following him.
He's like, oh, what are you doing? And of course, he's just... And here's the funny thing. It's not that he learned this stuff being an Avenger. He learned all this stuff just being in the military.
Yeah.
And like being part of the special forces and everything. So this goes to show the difference between him and her.
Right.
Yeah, she knows of these things. She knows what he's doing, but she can't do this.
Right. And also, he was good with the bow before all the Avengers and stuff. So he was so good in Black Ops. They're like, you can use a bow.
Yeah.
That's how bad a Hawkeye is.
Yeah, he can just show up with his own gear.
Yeah, and the Best Force was like, yeah, let him do that. Like, he's that good.
Yep.
He'll prove you wrong.
So they go back to her place, the first place she went, and she just left the dog in there with all the lights off.
I know, not very good.
I'm surprised he didn't piss and crap everywhere. But then that's the whole thing where she's like, well, some people call me the world's greatest archer. And he's like, are you one of those people? Do you call yourself that? Because it just shows you, like, all those things mean nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Because guess what? I don't care what anyone thinks of me. I know what I can do. See, it shows you, like, the two different versions of how they think it means to be great.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Kate Bishop is like,
Wants
oh,
recognition.
Look at all my trophies. I'm great. Clint's like, I don't care. I'm great because I have amazing kids and I love my family.
Right, and then also it's like one of those things where like it's you're the greatest when other people tell you, not because you tell yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also it also shows that Hawkeye's actually fighting for something more.
Yeah.
Than just trophies.
It kind of feels
herself.
like she wants to be like glorified a little bit.
Right, a little bit.
Like a hero.
Yeah.
A lot of these new Marvel heroes have anti-hero or villain like traits.
Right.
But they get back to the house, and of course the dog likes him because it's a cute dog. Golden Retriever's really cute.
Yeah.
But he's like, okay, so the suit.
Yeah. Get the suit off.
She goes up there and they're talking, and I guess she gets this. I guess it's just.
Did she ask for his autograph too?
Yeah. She goes back down to the bow. Can you sign my bow? And he's like, okay. We knows he's like, oh, but what about afterwards? And he's just like, stop talking to me. Like, I don't care about that. But he's like, did anyone see your face? No one saw my face. No one saw me. She's like, well, how to? Because they're called the tracksuit mafia because they wear tracksuits. They're almost cartoonishly silly.
Yeah, these are like some of the villains I've seen in this have been almost classic over the top.
Like, yeah, they're like comic book villains, but like silly comic book villains.
Especially for MCU, where I know there's some weird villains like the Mandarin and stuff that were like kind of, but this is getting kind of like on the nose.
I didn't. For some reason, it works with her future father-in-law or father.
Yeah,
because he has that weird. He can play it really well, but the tracksuit mafia people. They're a little too over the top. It's a little too one-dimensional.
Do we put it on the same level as the Rhino from Spider-Man?
Yeah, we're like so over the top.
You're like, tone it down. It's a little funny, but it's also a little like, I don't know.
Okay, really? You guys really going to wear tracksuits and that's like your thing? What is it, Saints Row? You all have to wear purple all the time?
Right? And they're all wearing red, too. Yeah, you're right. So they're all color-coordinated.
Why couldn't the leader just be like that? And everyone else could be
red.
not wearing it.
So she's like, well, how did they even find you in the first place? And she's like, well, I did stop here first, and that's when they like throw a Molotov cocktail out the window. So they're gonna burn her damn house down. And I thought it was a pretty badass move that Hawkeye was able to grab it and throw it right back. But the fire looks super fake.
They're not gonna.
This is the first, I would say, the first MCU or Marvel TV show special effect that looked like garbage.
This looked like, Flash this season type special effect.
CW. It did. That's not a compliment at all.
No.
That's an insult.
And I thought this was kind of funny because it's like a movie video game thing. Oh, I'll shoot the fire extinguisher, and it just sorry. It just launched. It just went off. Like, it didn't like blow up and take out the fire. That doesn't happen. So it just shoots out the window, and then Hawkeye looks at her like, what are you even doing?
And that's what I kind of like, too, is that they made Kate a little bit in this episode seem like very out of her league of things.
Yeah, but you think it's like a movie. Yeah. Or a video game, and it's not.
And also, it's bad, too. She has her name on her apartment, so they know her name.
Yeah,
too.
So they know it's Kate Bishop. They think Kate Bishop's the Ronin or whatever.
Yeah.
I do like the fact that when they're talking about this Ronin suit, Hawkeye never lets on that it was him.
No.
He's like, oh, I'm here on Avenger business to come get that suit. But she doesn't make connection that Ronin and Hawkeye are the same guy.
Ooh, would she think she'll have a different opinion of him?
Yeah, but she won't kill people. But... Then they basically, she's like, oh no, all my stuff. And he's like, who cares? Get the dog and get the hell out of here. So they kind of just escape.
Right, which didn't seem a lot. All it was her trophies, right?
Yeah, but it's your stuff too. All my beautiful things.
But again, Hawkeye's looking like, this is a emergency situation. They're trying to kill you. Let's get out of here. There's no need to save things.
So he's like, okay, they get to like the subway. And she's like, what's next? Oh, I got to pick up someplace. Oh, cool, like Avengers stuff. Then he's go to the corner store and he's like buying Band-Aids and Neosporin, like disinfectant, and it's like, well, I'm gonna say it's pretty disappointing. What do you want, Kate?
Yeah. Oh, is it the Avengers Tower? No, Tony stole that. Like, what do you want me to tell you? Like,
yeah, it's not. I'm not gonna have some secret. I hit a button and something comes out of the ground. We travel to the secret Avengers underground headquarters. There's nothing like that. Why do you?
This is just, you have to look at like a street level situation to survive. We're getting supplies to help you.
So then he's walking around. He's like, well, I need to find some place to stash you. No, wait a minute, a bag of money.
Like, no, a bag of money.
No, to keep you safe. He's trying to keep you safe.
I know a place. With a bag of money, know a place to go. And he turns around and just slaps the hell out of her.
Well, no, the comment he said, like, oh, a bag of money would be useful.
Yeah. But it's just, don't be snarky with me.
Right.
I'm trying to help you.
Just because I'm not somehow showing
you. And because you stole that suit, you have ruined your life.
Yeah.
You freaking idiot. Because she didn't even have to put it on.
No. All that would have happened is her stepfather would have saw her there. Oh, no.
So explain this to me. Okay, so if it is true that no one knows who Ronin is, because I'm pretty sure that's the way they established it, I thought she put the suit on because she's like, oh, this was Hawkeye's suit. But she never knew that.
No.
So why did she even put it on? Why did she even want it?
Yeah, because wouldn't it be like fangirling out about it?
Like, ooh, it's Hawkeye's.
No, I think she didn't want anyone to see her like her stepfather. Which sounds really stupid when you say it out loud, because it's like,
she could have just tied her shirt around her face.
I know.
And because of the explosion, you can see the dust. I'm covering my face with the dust and everything.
Yeah.
You didn't have to get the suit. And how it fits her perfectly, like you said in the last episode, I'll never know.
Yeah, it fits everybody. It even fit my fat ass.
Or even putting on the
mouth part. It wouldn't fit right. You'd have to like cinch it down, and I don't know. It's stupid. I honestly thought she knew that Hawkeye was Ronin, but I guess no one knows who Ronin is.
No one does.
So he doesn't even let on that it was him, which is kind of cool. He's like, oh, I just need that suit.
Yeah, because he just wanted... Maybe, you know what also might play in later to why Clint feels bad about being an Avenger, because he did a lot of evil stuff when things went crazy.
So they go to an apartment complex, and there's a bunch of names. Did these names mean anything to anybody?
Probably.
Is there a Marvel secret name?
Sure.
It might be. I don't know.
So she like bangs on all the buttons, and she's like, "Oh, I'm a pizza guy," and then someone brings her in. I'm like, is she just breaking into someone's apartment?
No, that's what I first thought. Is this someone's apartment she's breaking into?
It's her aunt's apartment, but she's out of town. So I'm like, okay, at least they're not like breaking into some place, which is nice. And she didn't just go.
I know, right? So I thought you were doing. Are you sure you know what you're doing?
So it's a nice little place, and it's one of those times where she's like, okay, what's the plan? And he's like, the plan's for you to shut the hell up, and I'm gonna go clean up your mess. But she's like, I want to be like your kid sidekick. Kate, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
And you don't even get any of this. Like, you don't understand the things that I've done, the things that I've been through. And she's just like, I can't wait to do this. And he's like, my God, I don't want anyone to have to go through this.
Mm-hmm. Especially when he sees her, and he probably sees her like he would see his daughter, you know?
Yeah, they're probably the same age.
Yeah.
Because even now she's like, how freaking old are you?
He's like,
You're 22 is like 18, whatever, same difference. You're a kid. You're a freaking kid.
Yeah.
And so they're sitting in their apartment, and then they start... she's all like rip-roaring and ready to go, and he's like, no. He's like, I'm gonna go back to your apartment, get the suit back, and then I'll contact you. You stay here. Don't go anywhere. Don't do anything.
Lock the door. He's like, well, how are you gonna get back in? I know how to get in. Like,
yeah,
don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Don't you need my keys? No, I don't need your keys. I was trying to look at her. You gonna get it? Me, this guy?
I Special Forces. I know what I'm doing. I can get in here.
So he goes back to the thing, and firefighters are there, and they're working. So he just walks in there. He grabs a firefighter's suit and kind of walks in there. He's looking around, and he's like, I can't... the suit's gone. And he's like, what the heck? Firefighters don't steal from freaking places. So he's walking around, looking around, can't find it. Puts the suit back, but then he sees there's a little, like, New York LARPing sticker on the thing. He's like, oh, God, did someone steal this thing? He's going to use it in costume. He's like, oh, Jesus Christ, I don't want to do this. Because everything seemed to add another step. So I just want to get the suit. Get out of here. Get back to my family.
Yep.
So he gets back to the apartment, and she's like, "Oh, did you find the suit?" He's like, "No. Would you have a lead?" And he's like, "What?" Like, he's almost like, "I don't want to involve you in this any more than you have to be." But it was nice that he looks at her cut, and she's like, "Oh," because like she's holding a freaking frozen pizza to her head, and he's like, "You did that all wrong. Here, let me fix it for you," because he's a dad. So he's like, oh, you need to squeeze the wound together when you seal it, and you want to seal against it so it's pinching the skin together so you don't get like a really nasty scar or whatever. So he's just being like a cool dad, and he just wants to make sure that she's taken care of.
Right, and also sets up the fact that maybe you're not ready yet. You're not. If, you said when you're in the field and doing stuff, Clint had to do a lot of stuff. It was just like you said, go stores, steal crap, or take stuff and patch yourself up and go. Yeah. And that was it. It wasn't, oh, I'm going to get help from a helicopter.
I called my freaking dropship in and to come bring me stuff.
No, yeah.
It also was pretty cool that that she's like, oh, it's smart at first. Like, oh, I'm writing down everything I remember about those guys. So she even drew like a picture, but it's like a really crappy one. It's like, well, I guess you weren't an art major. But that's a good idea. So you don't forget. You want to write it down as soon as possible.
So she has good qualities, right?
She has qualities, and it's nice, but it's almost like, it's like, she also wants to be like, oh, didn't I do a good thing, Clint? Didn't I do a good thing? And then he's never like going to reciprocate and saying, good job, Kate. Like, he's never going to do that.
This is a dangerous situation. This isn't to give you praise. And like, we're like, we're all heroes doing hero things. That's not what this is about.
So he's doing some research on that LARPing thing, and he sees someone post like on an Instagram, and the guy's like, oh, yeah, you guys complain about my costume. Look at my new costume. Yeah, ninja mode.
Because I only had one costume, and just look at this. Oh,
like, but it fits him perfectly.
It's a suit that can fit everyone.
Yeah, so I was like, it can literally fit anyone. So some stupid firefighter LARPer stole the Ronin suit. You idiot. First of all, you're stealing things from what could be potentially a crime scene, and you just stole it?
Yeah, well.
Good job, guy.
That's really bad.
So then he's like, oh, jeez. He's like, another stupid thing I have to go deal with. And then he's like, okay, he's trying to tell her to stay put. But she's like, well, I better go to work, because if I don't go to work, then my mom's gonna be searching for me and all this stuff like that. Whatever, I'll take you to work. So I guess the mom owns a security company. So I'm like, okay, that's nice. That's kind of
Bishop
shows you like, oh, that's why she's rich.
Yeah.
Of course, Hawkeye has to send his family away. Clint has to send his family back.
Yeah.
Yep,
and then he's like, oh, come on, you're gonna be back with mom and everything. And the daughter's like, so what's going on, Dad? Oh, it's nothing. And something. And she's like, you have a cut on your head.
Yeah.
You're doing stuff again.
And the other son, and then his son's like, "Is it the ninja thing?" And he's like, "Oh no, it's not." And it's like, "Oh, we all know it's."
Yeah, it's like, oh, Dad's out on another mission, doing mission stuff, and he's trying to keep us safe.
Yeah, and he had to find his little son. He was off doing something stupid in the corner. Get over here! You're calling right now, his little son.
And I thought it was sweet that the son is like learning sign language because his dad is losing his hearing.
Yeah.
So that was super. I thought that was cute.
That's cute.
You know, I love you more. I love it. It's great. But I feel bad because I want Clint to be a family. Because, like you said in the last episode, Natasha died for this, for you to have this.
Yep.
And now he has to be away from it again.
Right, and then the conflictingness of getting his family back, being Ronin, trying to solve all that, isn't that's more of a dynamic we want to see. Is that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely with him. Yes.
So later that same morning, he goes back to the apartment, and there's Kate watching TV and is saying about how that guy died, and they're pinning everything on the Ronin. And then she's like, "Oh God, they're going to think I did it."
Yeah, because if they know Kate's Ronin, then there's...
Yeah, that gets out and is like, "Oh, I killed him. You already hated the guy."
Yeah.
So all these things are stacking up against Kate like big time, and then she has all the abilities to do these things because she was killed with a sword.
Yeah, so she's a
two-time state champion with swords.
Yep.
And she always bragging about everything she can do.
And then also she saw the argument with her mom, so she was protecting her mom.
Jeez. This woman needs to learn a little bit more of the humbleness that, freaking Hawkeye has. She needs a lot of that. She does.
So that's when they have their conversation about going to work, and he's like, "Okay, whatever. You're going to do whatever you want anyways. So I might as well take you." Then he's walking her down the street, and he's always looking around. And he has her standing on one side, and she's like, "Oh, very genuinely, you have me walk next to the street." He's like, "No, so I can hear you."
Yeah.
It's like at my ear. She's like, "Oh, what happened to your ear?" Then it just plays like a little bit montage of everything. It's like, I don't know what had happened. It just did. Yeah. Because of explosions flying all over the place.
And I love the last one because that's when when Thanos came and that big old explosion. Like, yeah, I probably lost my hearing when that happened.
Like, it's one of them. I don't know what one had happened.
Yeah.
But
and also the dumb thing, Kate. Oh, it's your branding. You should be just as popular. Can't you tell that he does not care?
It's like, I'm not selling anything.
No.
I don't care. Because like they see people in New York City take a picture with us because there's like an Ant-Man and it's like, "Oh, there's a Hawkeye." It's like, "No, that's Katniss Everdeen from freaking Hunger Games. That was pretty funny.
That was funny.
But that was a pretty dope Batman costume. I like it. It got a pretty dope one.
Yeah, I did.
But then she's like, "Yeah, your branding, we can work on that." He's like, "I don't care." But then she's like, "Oh, you sell people hope." Because that's what gave her hope. Because she still hasn't told him, "I saw you when I was a little kid."
Yeah, that's what she's inspired to be him. And she doesn't want to tell him that she's a fangirl, basically.
Yeah.
But that was kind of nice. And he's like, "Here, put your phone number in here just for case of an emergency." And then he's like, "Oh, crappy little flip phone." And she's like, "Oh, okay." But he's like, "If everything goes right, I'm never going to see you ever again."
Yeah, so have a good one.
"Oh, but okay, I'll call you later." He's like, "No, don't call me. Oh, I got your number. I'm going to do it anyway."
Right, and then I think she goes, "I wish I would have learned more from him." Like, "Well, I taught you how to clean a cut, so that's something."
Yeah, I'm not making you you're not my protege.
Yeah, I'm not my apprentice. No, I don't need that in my life.
So she goes into work, and I guess her job is to be the boss's daughter.
Basically, that's it.
That's such a crap.
That was so rude when she saw the secretary and she threw her stuff at her. Like, come on.
Maybe it was more kind of like a friendly, "Hey, what's going on?" But it did seem rude.
It did seem rude.
It seemed a little rude to me.
Like, throw your stuff, like, "Oh, you'll get it." Like, okay, well, shoot.
Yeah, it seemed a little... It wasn't like a friendly thing, like, "Hey, what's up? Hey, Kate, how's it going?" It's more like, "Oh, Kate." Like they didn't seem friendly.
Almost like they didn't expect Kate to even come in kind of thing.
Yeah, her apartment burned down.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it was.
So they're trying to stop her because the fiance's in there. And she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry for your loss. Your dad died." And he's like, "It was quite unexpected." No one seems to give a crap that he's dead.
No.
The mom doesn't seem upset. He doesn't seem upset.
Especially
Kate. The one who really seemed more worried was Kate because she actually literally saw his dead body.
Yeah.
But the mom and him don't seem like they care. Are they in cahoots and they got rid of the dad?
Right,
feels like it.
I'm batting on that from the episode 1. I want
They're both evil.
Yes, I want the mom to be the boss and he be the lackey, the second in command.
And then he thinks he's going to be in charge, but he's not. It's really her. So they're just kind of having that again, like, "You don't like me because I'm banging your mom" conversation. Because it does, right? Isn't it the same?
Yeah.
But Kate's just being that.
But I do like how he's like, "Oh, I read some stepfather books, so I know what
you're intimidated by me.
You're intimidated, but you want my approval," which really pissed her off. Because, like, "Oh, I don't want none of your approval."
They go, that sneer in my face.
She goes, oh, yeah, dinner. Yeah, I'll have dinner with you, but I have to get to ask the questions.
I choose the topics.
Like, okay.
Oh, yeah.
People talk over dinner? I thought you just stuff your face and run back to your room.
I know. That's what we all do.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
What conversation?
You're supposed to have conversations at dinner? So she agrees to that, but then it's just so silly. He gets to the LARPing thing, and he's walking around. He's like, oh my goodness, these guys are losers. Then he sees the guy with the suit, and he's like, I'm going to go talk to this guy. Lady stops him. Hey, you can't go in there. I just need to talk to that guy. You see, he stole that suit. I need to talk to him and get it back. She's like, no, we know who you are. Like, everyone knows he's Clint Barton, Hawkeye. Goes, but there's rules. You can't just go in there. Okay, what are the rules? So he has to, like, sign up.
Yeah, they told him, because all these people are cops and firemen. You'll make your life really uncomfortable here if you just go and mess them up.
Whatever. I'll sign up. And this is the scroll that has, like, your mission. He's like, I don't... He's like, here, you have to put on your little armor thing. He's like wearing this little chest plate.
And what's your LARPing name? What's your occupation? He's like, I don't care about any of this.
So he walks out there and there's like a big battle going on, and he's like, these losers. He's like, these idiots. So he's walking up and people are attacking him. He's just like, just beating off because he knows how to actually kill
I love how when he did the little slash and all 5 of them fell down, like they're going with it. Oh,
yeah, they all attack him, but he does like this big swirl attack and they go, oh, they all fall back. Well, why is that?
It's fun. You know what? It's funny though. It's funny. I gotta give you that.
It has some heart to it.
I think this is my favorite part of the whole episode
because it's almost like he's thinking, I did this for like reals with like alien monsters trying to kill me.
Right, and I thought real people.
I've been all around the world. I've been to other planets. I've been to like a floating city in the sky. Okay, so Ultron. This is stupid.
He catches up to the guy who has the suit, and he's like, "Oh my goodness!" He's like, "Hey, I want to give 2 options here. You can just, I can pretend kill you or whatever with this little fake sword and you give me the suit. Or I can really punch you in the face. You can really fall down and I can really take the suit from you." So these 2 things happen. He's like, "Oh, come on, man. Okay, I'll give you the suit, whatever. Just let me kill you." And he's like, "No." He's like, he doesn't even want to pretend. He's like, "No, it'd be so cool if I only took down Hawkeye and I'll give you the suit afterwards." It's like, what? Just give it to him. He's like, "Come on, man. You're a real superhero. This is the closest I ever could get to being something like that."
Yeah, being like...
So that's kind of, like, and then he kind of feels like, it's like, okay, whatever, just comes like, no, you have to sell it. It has to be big.
Yeah. Because he kind of just put his head down.
He's like, yeah, just chop my head off. I don't care. So we get back to Kate, and she's typing, and words are popping up that aren't matching her fingers.
She was typing 4 or 5 letters, and like 25 letters are coming out.
Yeah, like 10 sentences came up.
No.
Wouldn't it make more sense if she was doing the talk to type?
Yes.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, and then it just popped up because she's like clicking just the left and right side of her phone, but it's making full sentences.
Yeah.
It's Magic Phone.
Come on, Disney. Better technology than that.
Doctor Strange.
She gets a call from a police officer, and she's like, but know what I did like about this? She did seem, like scared and nervous, like how a 22-year-old girl would be scared and nervous when her apartment burned down, a guy died, and she may or may not be implicated in this.
She thought she was calling Clint, didn't she?
Yeah, no, yeah, she tried. He thought Clint called her.
No, I didn't.
No, it was a detective.
Yeah, because yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, who's this? This is the police detective that I need to speak to Kate Bishop." "Oh, that depends. Oh, what is this about?" And he's like, "I need to talk to you about your apartment burning down." "Okay, I'm Kate Bishop." Like, all super nervous.
Right, because she didn't know if they were calling about the murder or for the fire, and so she's kind of like, "Oh, good, it's the fire."
Yeah, so, but he might be thinking like Crim said, it could be a cover up.
Yeah, you try to cover your tracks.
Yeah.
So then she's like all super nervous, like, "Oh, I need you to come down to the station." "I ain't going nowhere." you have to come get my ass. No, she's like, I'm at work right now. I'm really busy. "Well, what about tomorrow before work?" And, "Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll beat you there." And she's super worried.
Yeah. Because
just like anyone would be worried when you don't want to talk to the cops, especially when you may or may not be implicated in something of a murder. And
yeah, like I even told her, you don't seem that nervous. You don't seem that worried about your apartment being. You don't seem heartbroken about it.
Yeah. You don't seem that. It's like, "Oh, and then a lot of ums and uhs and stammering that does not sound good."
No, it doesn't.
So we get back to the LARP, and I guess they're having like a big, like an arena. Oh, whoever wins the armor. They're having a big thing.
They go, "Here's the potion you can take." He goes, "I'm not gonna pretend to drink that."
You're not gonna reap the benefits. And the one guy, "You take the potion." Some Viking guy. It's like, what is this? It's so stupid. Yeah. So they're gonna have like their little like face off. So they're like hitting and stuff, and this guy he's swinging his sword like how Rey swings her lightsaber, like a joke, like an absolute effing joke. But it makes sense because he's just some idiot. So he's like, come on, just he's like, oh, you gotta sell, you gotta make it. So like they're blocking you, like holding, like ready to hold the stance.
Yeah, and he like pushes him off.
And knocks him back. It's so stupid.
It's so silly, but I love it.
Everyone's all cheering for him and stuff.
He does a killer slash and gets him.
Yeah, he's like, okay, are you ready? Then he like hits him and hits him in the chest. The guy's like, no. So he wins. I don't even know what his stupid LARP name was, but it was like, oh, he's victorious. And then Clint's just sitting there, okay, game over, I'm dead. Guy comes like, hey man, here's the suit, man. That was the best day of my life. And he's like,
he goes, I can't say the same. He goes, not for me.
My countrymen will
but hear this tale for he's like, oh, that's great, man. And he keeps calling him Hawkeye. He's like, you just call me Clint.
It's like, oh, I get to call you Clint.
Really? That's so, because it's like, you're an Avenger. That was like the coolest thing ever. But he's like, yeah, okay, thanks for the suit, man. And he's like, hey, Merry Christmas, kind of gives a fist bump. Oh, okay, give me a fist bump. Then he's like, oh, what's his name? Like Gregory or something? Yeah. Oh, that's my name.
Yeah. That's my name. Okay.
How do you go from like actually like seeing people from Asgard that actually really are like these things instead of the pretend version? It's like
that's what makes it. That's what makes the disconnect for Clint is like, I fought aliens. I've been to other planets. And now I'm pretending to fight people in the forest in New York City.
In New York City in the wintertime.
Well, that's what's funny about Clint. He has a hard time accepting a lot of that like fake reality or even like that fandom or whatever. He's like, nah, man, none of it.
He's getting right deep in
it, right?
So he calls home, and he's talking to his wife, and it's like they share everything. She's like, oh, so how bad is it? He's like, I'm thinking at least a couple more days. 1-2 days, and she's like, oh yeah, and he's like, yeah, I gotta shake those tracksuit mafia guys. And she's like, oh, not them again. So she like knows all this stuff. He tells her everything, which is kind of nice, They have a good marriage, and he's like, I'm just trying to clean up some of this mess. I promise to be home for Christmas. Like, well, yeah, 5 days, and it's one of those things where it's like it's meaningless, but it's everything.
Yeah.
Right, and then he even knows what they're doing. He's like, oh, if it's the 6th day, it's the gingerbread houses that I'm missing. And she's like, oh, don't worry about it. But it's like, that's how well he knows, and that's how bad he wants to be there. Because there's probably been Christmases where he wasn't home.
Yeah, plenty of times.
He's like, I'm finally out of this. I just want to be home.
So he stashes the suit away in a locker somewhere, some random locker, because it's one of those things where it's like you hide it in plain sight.
Yep.
Yeah. So he stashed it away, and he's still talking to his wife, and it's
my insurance policy.
Yeah, and I do like how, look at this family, look how fun and real it is. Then we get to Kate's thing, and they're eating their super fancy dinner, and they're super fancy.
Fake.
Like, I'd rather have the other one. I'd rather be making gingerbread houses with a bunch of kids.
I really care.
And having fun. And then, I had this risotto meal and everything. You know what I'm saying?
It just seems like a foo-foo, crappy, like, phoniness to it.
Right, and then maybe even just like, would Kate even want to do this if her family life was better instead of this foo-foo kind of like instead if her dad was still alive, would she like even?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's interesting to think of, but
so the stepdad, not the almost stepdad, it's the fiance. His fiance I made this risotto. It takes time and patience and attendance. And look, I do your mom.
He should have twirled his mustache.
Yeah, and every scene his mustache should have got a little bit longer and more curlier. So by the end of the episode, it's like 3 feet long.
Like we're not kidding when we say the bad guys are very 1930s. They are.
Yeah.
And you saw Harvey Whiplash.
Yeah. He can't leave the room.
I'm surprised he hasn't tied Kate to the railroad tracks yet.
Well, like Destiny Dadley, remember that from those cartoons?
I'm surprised he doesn't have a cape. And he runs off into the thing. It's so over the top.
I love it though.
I like it when he does it because he does a flair. He has a flair for it. I give him that.
And doesn't it almost seem almost silly that the mom is like Twitter-pated?
I know.
But is that her false thing? She's like, I didn't love that man. I just wanted his money.
Right, it could be.
I bet you something like that pops up. Because come on, let the mom be evil.
I would love it.
What was it? She's like, that was a good dinner, but what about this?
And then she's like, oh yeah, you look like the perfect guy.
Yeah, she's like you do all these things perfectly, but what about this?
Yeah, I know.
It kind of reminds me of the dinner scene from Lost Boys. Remember they kind of tried to catch.
Oh yeah, exactly. She should up the lights and put the mirror in his face. Oh,
it should have been the same scene. I bet you hate garlic, don't you?
I know. Put the garlic in. I was thinking about that scene. This is stupid. But it's powerless. You invited him in, so it doesn't matter now.
See, he made the dinner, so they can't work against them.
Yeah.
But it's just she's just being very she's just like, I don't know, wants to piss him off.
Yeah, super aggressive. Like, somehow she feels like if I piss him off, he's gonna let down his guard and be like, I'm this evil guy and I'm trying to kill your mom or something.
Oh, I see all these swords around. So you're like a sword guy? You like swords? And he's like, oh, I do appreciate it, whatever.
I dabble.
I dab a little bit. Oh, so you even do fencing? Oh, a little bit. So what are you, a foil, saber, or epee kind of man?
Right.
Oh, young lady, you do know your stuff. And the mom's like, can we stop talking about swords? Can we just talk about like other stuff? Then she's like, hey, how about we have a match? And he's like, oh, I don't know how good you are. You know, he's like, oh, I'm a 2-time state champion. He's like, oh, okay, then. I'm game. So they like move the table out of the way and they get all ready. He has like fencing gear in his house. So, okay, the boy knows how to fence.
Yeah, I'm like...
No one keeps fencing gear in their house unless they know how to fence.
Especially with the fact that she has a suit for her. So he has multiple suits for people.
Yeah.
Like, so he can teach a class almost.
Hey, let's grab a sword, let's fence.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all there
Here's my saber, here's your epee.
Yeah, let's go.
So they're getting ready to fence. And, you know, they're kind of going back and forth. And she gets first tag on him. And he's like, oh, you are really good. But she's like, come on, you're letting me score.
It's like, no,
I'm not. But he can tell he totally is. Does it again. And she kind of... Here's the thing. On this last one, she like gets him, but technically that wouldn't have been a point because she was being way too aggressive.
Yeah,
there is an art to fencing. It's not just hitting your other guy. You have to be artful in your attacks and your movements and your parries.
It's not
can't just be. It's not like kickboxing or something where if you kick someone in the face, it's a kick to the face.
It's not as bad as Kendo where you have to be really soft. It's still
you have to have control with your attacks. So. He's like, oh, I guess you beat me or whatever. And she's like,
really
what are you hiding? What are you hiding? I'm not hiding anything. So he takes his mask off and he's like talking to the wife and then she like jabs at his face. But he's able to
knocks his sword out at her like it's nothing and it's spinning around like, dang.
And she's like, oh, see, you're lying. He's like, well, I did lie about how good of a fencer I am. But he's like basically trying to say, I just let you win because I want you to think, you know, I don't want to beat you because I don't want you to feel like,
yeah.
Oh, see, he's a liar, Mom.
Yeah, lying about fencing, like you said, but nothing else.
Yeah, because he lied about fencing, ergo, he lied about everything.
Yeah, and I love about him, too, because he's letting her play so aggressive that he's like, you just look like a fool.
I bet you he didn't win that freaking t-shirt that says world's greatest lover either.
Right, exactly.
It's like, what? Kate, she needs to be wrong. But I don't think she's going to be wrong.
I know. And like I said, it would be one thing if she said, like, oh, it's a feeling in my gut that I don't like this guy. Well, then it's a feeling that you can't, like, prove or disprove.
No, he's a big stinky face.
What we were also saying, too, before we started doing the podcast on this is that, why couldn't she be more subtle? Maybe she could get him to slip up, but she's so strong.
Yeah, his walls are going to be up.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe she's trying to piss him off to a point to where he'll, like, reveal his evilness and think, haha, your mom loves me anyways. Maybe.
But that's like a child way of thinking.
I know, but we're talking about Kate Bishop here.
Yeah.
So then she's like, man, he's a liar. Then, like, you know, like, oh, that was a fun little fight. Then he's like, you were like a butterscotch. Remember, she saw those butterscotches and the other.
So I'm guessing that's probably said, like, his father's name. And he's like, oh, that must have been he was at the apartment. But again, though, can he just give those out to his son?
Because if his dad has them, wouldn't it make that he would have them too?
Right. Ergo, he's a liar.
Right, exactly.
He's a liar.
And then you see the mom
Would you like to have a Werther's, little bishop?
And then you see the mom saying, like, I had great plans for you, Kate, to take over the business.
Yeah, then you'll go to college and finish school, and then when you come out of college, you'll take over Kate or a Bishop Industries, whatever, securities. And then I promise you keep following this path, you'll love your life.
See, and that's where I would love to set her up as a villain, because basically take over my job, become the new criminal, like, you know, boss, and you'll love it. And it's like, ooh, I like it. If she is, I would love it.
Get back to Hawkeye, and he's out there, and the tracksuit guys show up. They beat him up, and they capture him. He's basically doing the same thing that Black Widow did. Remember?
Yeah, because his wife even said, "Oh, so they're gonna
the quick snatch and grab, or whatever." So, like, it was that scene, remember, she was tied to the chair, and then she gets that call, and she's like, I got him right where I want him. He's like, what are you talking about? Then she beats the crap out of all of them.
I think it's so funny when he says, I can see through this bag, by the way.
He's not really hiding
This bag's not doing nothing. Then Kate, flags down a taxi, and she's trying to call him. She's like, oh, I have some clues, whatever, about things that are happening, because she's trying to connect the father with the killing of his dad. But then she hangs up, and she calls back. She's like, I know calling back wasn't a good idea. But then someone picks up, and you hear another voice saying, oh, Mr. Clint Barton can't come to the phone right now. And she's like, oh, no, he's been captured. Then she has super secret security satellite GPS tracking.
Awesome. No, it made me feel like she was like Penny from Inspector Gadget.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. The phone.
And it makes all these noises.
Yeah.
We're not that stupid. It doesn't need to make noises.
Yeah, but even like the Flag Smasher app was all like that too. Like,
Yeah.
I don't understand.
It's so silly looking. It works too clean.
Yeah.
It needs to be a little more juddery, a little more, but it's like perfect 4K and everything.
Almost even also a little bit more text based too.
No, it'd have been better too if Hawkeye would have gave her like a phone saying, "Hey, this phone connects to mine. And if you hit this button right here, I'll let you know where I'm at, and I'll give you a GPS coordination no matter where I'm at in the world, just in case you need to find me."
And he could have probably got that from Stark Industries.
Yeah, or even from Shield or whatever, like a leftover from Shield. But no, she just has tracking technology in her phone because
it triangulated the position, whatever.
So there's again, the scene is almost exactly the same. He's tied to a chair. They're talking crap, and this is another more like the jokes. It's like, oh, really nice place you have here. Oh, it's really hard to find another thing. A lot of these warehouses being converted.
I mean, who freaking cares? He goes on, the guy's looking, I'm like, who gives a crap about
Well, he's making fun of it. I don't like that.
Yeah, I took a hard time finding this place. I'm like, okay.
Because it's like an old amusements thing. So like kinds of toys and stuff.
Like a storage area.
Like look at an arcade
Finance
machine.
Freddy's.
I know, arcade machine in the background, little friggin'
animatronic thing.
Animatronic, the stupid little like ski ball set.
So he keeps talking. He's like, hey, I don't know who that Ronin guy is, and I don't know anything about him. You got the wrong person. It's like, oh, we're looking for Kate Bishop. She's like, I never met this Kate girl. He's like, I need to talk to your boss.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk to you. And then like, oh, the other thing, and then you hear some stuff on the roof. Like, oh God, Kate, please don't fall through the roof. She falls through the roof. Oh jeez, I didn't know you need my help this bad. Oh. And they're pointing guns at her.
I should have brought a gun.
Why? Oh, I know we're bringing guns. Why didn't they just shoot her?
They probably would have, especially anything falling from the roof. They would have shot. But again, it's a show.
And then another thing that's in movies in Hollywood. Every time someone moves a gun, it makes a clinky clanky sound.
Yeah.
What is it? Are guns full of empty metal that just bounces around on the inside of the receiver?
Cheap Russian guns.
Yeah. They did those loose tolerances on the AKs.
On the AKs are just.
It's just a movie thing, so you know someone has a gun in their hand. It makes clicky sounds.
Right, and it's kind of silly, but
no, they would never do that because if you're in a war situation, you give yourself a.
Yeah, no, this is so stupid. Again, if anyone go to a gun shop and and go to a range, it's really fun. Shoot guns and kind of move the gun a little bit. It doesn't make all kinds of clinky clanky sounds.
It doesn't make any sounds at all.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe the magazine a little bit when it's in a little bit, but not enough to make an audible.
And yes, and cocking the gun does make a noise, but it's not so. Right, you're not pumping a shotgun.
Yeah, if you're rocking a shotgun, that has a very distinct sound. But these are rifles that are already loaded.
Yeah, and
so no one's loading these things up. Whatever, it's
right.
Stupid. So they both get caught and they get tied to like freaking. I'm sorry, I almost cussed like 1,000 times. They tie them to like little kid thingies. And then Kate's like talking to him. He's like, shut the hell up.
Like I had everything under control.
Yeah, just shut up. Stop talking.
I mentioned about a few more hours he would have got to talk to the boss and he probably would have said, okay, that wasn't Ronin.
He probably can even bribe them with some money.
Yeah.
Hey, here's freaking $150,000.
Because I need to clean this mess up that you made. I have to.
Then we see the red hand of Dracula. We see like just some red hand.
Just randomly like
and then touching the base.
And it plays throughout the whole credits too.
And it's like very bassy. And then that guy walks up. Oh, we got both of them. And then he like says it again, and she basically tells him to shut the hell up. And that's the end of the episode. I'm assuming because again it's impossible to avoid all spoilers. There's some Echo person. I have no clue who that is in the comics.
And
obviously it's someone in the comics. People have been saying it's a comic book character. No clue.
Right, and then the only thing we can guess probably something with her earring.
She can't hear, so she feels the bass.
Yeah, so she likes the feel of the disability.
Yeah, like remember back in high school, we would freaking bass out all the cars, and they would make the rear mirrors like
shake. Yeah,
that's when I was cool. But yeah, that's the end of the episode. So just more okay.
Yeah, nothing like spectacular, nothing good.
Yeah, nothing really blowing my socks off or anything. Just okay.
A lot of the stuff with Clint is great.
I love Clint.
I want more of that kind of stuff. Him dealing with his problems, stuff like that. Not so much Kate. No.
Yeah.
I did like how Kate was scared.
Yeah.
And then some people did, so she got some pushback, like I said.
Yeah, some pushback, and like healing her wounds, but they're like little tiny wounds. Her face would be jacked up after getting punched like that a bunch of times.
Yeah, by
and like in her ribs, she should have been having to like stitch up some cuts, like because she got hit in the gut a couple times by some pretty big dudes.
Or even like maybe a scene like where she's at her aunt's apartment
and she's putting an ice pack on.
Yeah, and then she kind of like looks in the mirror and she goes, "Oh,
They don't want to show any skin.
I know, but again, she would have been wearing make her wear an undershirt or something.
Yeah, like a compression.
Yeah,
just showing that. Oh,
and then
yeah.
kind of lift up a little bit, so it's like a bad dark bruise.
It would have been really funny too. She'd be like, oh, and he's like, "This is your first fight, kid. That ain't nothing. You're gonna have nights where you're gonna want to be dead. You're gonna be in so much pain if you want to continue this kind of life, this superhero life." No, she gets a little bitty baby cut that's over her hair that they can hide.
It's also like you said. I remember even seeing stuff like in Arrow. Oliver King got jacked up, and he's a man. He's ripped. But
that's the thing, though. We like seeing our male characters get beat the hell up. We're not ready to see female characters get beat the hell up. We're just.
But that's what would happen, though.
Yeah.
You don't want to see it.
Right, and we even saw Batman get beat up and all kinds of stuff. Yeah,
but
it made me uncomfortable even when Black Widow when she was getting beat up by that guy. You
know?
In
And that scene where he's like slapping her around and stuff.
Yeah.
Like there's like in I love the new Tomb Raider games. They're really, really good. There's a scene where Laura gets the ever living hell beat out of her. And I looked away. I don't want to see a woman get beat up. Especially when they're like they can't defend themselves and taking full blown punches to the face. I don't know if anyone again when we see like Spider-Man when he was fighting Green Goblin, he was beat. And that's like, oh man, that's a cool fight. Are we ready to see females get beat the hell up like that?
Yeah, May just got hit a little bit and it was bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but could you imagine Green Goblin butting the hell out of her?
Should have been spaghetti sauce.
But it's like you see Tom Holland all beat the hell up. We're not going to see your female characters like that.
No.
They got to get only like a little cut.
Yeah, but they could do like you said, the bruise on the stomach, like you said.
I'm surprised he didn't put a little My Little Pony Band-Aid or something.
Hello Kitty.
Yeah, Dr. Miss Stuffins or something Band-Aid. That's how little her cut was. But yeah we're just okay. Mm-hmm. I don't know where this is going. I don't know who this Echo person is. I guess only 6 episodes.
Yeah.
So we're almost halfway done, which is kind of funny. But I don't know.
Yeah, we'll go forward and just see what we see, but we're not going to get it done anytime soon.
Yeah, it's once a week if we're lucky. We'll see. That's in here. Thanks for watching the video. Remember, you can contact us on any of the social media platforms in the description down below. And while you're here, be sure to click on one of the videos over on the right.